No episode of Lit 360 is complete without the top 5 segment, and this week we are all about throwbacks. We're taking you back to the jams that you loved and you will never forget.
Brooklyn boys and you're watching
Lit 360.
Tunatoka Nairobi mzima East Bus mpaka CBD. Ndombogi imevisha drill 254 tunachafua scene. Sindo the trend NTV.
Beat sensitivity pain fast with SENSODYNE Rapid Action for clinically proven relief in 60 seconds.
Credo Mix is all about anything created artistically by us, for us. Music reviews. Feel the fresh vibes, full of surprises as we get interactive with your favorite artists and celebrities exclusively. We will bring you all the latest hits, trending topics, and the weekly top 10 every weekday from 5 to 6.
And you're watching Credo Mix on NTV. Keep it locked.
Next, on Daring Abroad, we take you to Dubai, the city of gold.
My name is Crispin Mangongo. In Dubai, I run a security company.
My name is George Ogango. I'm the CEO of First Global Events Company.
On Kenya to the World, why this Dreamliner has been repurposed into a cargo aircraft. This Saturday at 7:30 p.m. on NTV.
New Year comes with New Year deals. Renew your corporate subscription and get a bonus. Subscribe to Nation e-paper for 3 months and get 1 week absolutely free. 6 months and get 2 weeks absolutely free. 1 year and get 3 weeks absolutely free. To sign up, visit epaper.nationmedia.com or email subscription@ke.nationmedia.com. Offer valid till 28th February 2021.
If you had a fight with Miguel, it's your problem, okay? I have nothing to do with it. Okay, Miguel, the only thing I want is to help you, but you keep insisting on involving Luciana in everything.
Erica, I don't know why you're reacting this way. Why are you so angry?
I told you! If you said something, your friend and Juan would be in trouble. And you didn't listen to me!
Heaviness and a burning inside, it could be heartburn.
Indigestion and heartburn? Eno gets to work in 6 seconds and works on the 6 symptoms of heartburn so you can keep living life non-stop. Eno, fight heartburn and indigestion fast.
Komesha Corona. Wash your hands using soap and running water or use an alcohol-based sanitizer. Maintain social distancing of 1.5 meters and always wear a mask.
Avoid wearing your mask under your nose, under your chin, because this doesn't protect you. The droplets can still land in the environment and things can still land on your nose and mouth.
Komesha Corona. Okoa maisha.
This is NTV.
Good afternoon. This is NTV at 1 live from the Nation Center in Nairobi. I'm Mark Masai, and we start with politics. A lot has been happening, especially with the new session of Parliament expected to be heavily political, with competing interests between supporters of President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga on one side and those of Deputy President William Ruto on the other. Their supporters both in the Senate and the National Assembly are expected to pull all strings to have their agenda carry the day, as numerical strength is also expected to play a key role. Kennedy Mureithi, our NTV's political affairs reporter, is keeping an eye on what to expect as a new session begins, and will be giving us a package on that. We've seen some MPs having been suspended, nominated senators having been suspended from the Jubilee Party, and a lot of politics at play as things shape up towards the BBI direction as well as 2022. But that in a bit with what to expect from Parliament with Kennedy Mureithi. Speaking of some of the latest developments, Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro now says President Uhuru Kenyatta is acting desperate and turning to intimidation to tame the growing rebellion within the Jubilee Party. According to Nyoro, the ejection of Irungu Kang'ata as his Senate Majority Whip was unnecessary and a simple show of might on the president's part.
Wale watu walichagua Uhuru Kenyatta ni sisi. The people who campaigned for him, it is us. Na kama kazi yetu imekwisha na sasa tumekuwa takataka, sasa ni kutolewa katika chama, tunyeshewe huko nje, ni sawa. But I want to challenge this administration. You only have 1 year of intimidating us. And you only have mwaka moja tu ya kutisha raia. Hiyo mwaka inaisha, watu waende nyumbani, tupate serikali ambayo itaheshimu maoni ya kila raia na viongozi wote. And I also want to say, this thing of senators being expelled is connected with Senator Kang'ata, ambaye anataka kutolewa leo, na kama sio leo ni hivi karibuni, kutoka katika chief whip wa Senate. Sasa wanajaribu kubalance. Unajua when you are expelled, sasa wataona hao kura zao hazitahesabiwa. So wanajaribu kubalance mahesabu yao, ndio wafukuze mtu juu ya kuandika barua ya kusema ukweli.
To stick in situation, literally, residents of Githurai 45 have been forced to vacate their homes after their houses were flooded with raw sewage due to a blockage in the sewer line. The residents claimed the blockage has been caused by an ongoing construction within the area. Ruth Sarmwe has that report.
These are the sights that greet you at Daikan area in Githurai 45. For 3 days now, the effluent discharge has been percolating into households, forcing many to vacate the area.
Kuna mahali imeblock na alafu maji ikitoka pande ya juu ikipitia sewer line ina blokiwa pale. Sasa inatafuta mahali pale inaweza tokea. Mahali pale inatafuta ni kwa maplot.
Tumeteseka sana na MCA wa huku tujui hawezi hajakuja kutusaidia. Sasa siku 3 tumelala nje. Sijui tutaenda wapi.
According to the residents, this is not the first time the ongoing constructions have disrupted their lives and livelihoods. This time, property worth unknown value has been soaked in water, forcing many to vacate. Women with babies and the elderly are going through a harrowing experience due to the freezing temperatures in the house. Others have fallen victims into accidents in the pool.
Jui nini walikuja hapa, maji naingia yote huko kwetu ni kama dam. Unaona dilianguka, ndio nikaenda hospitali kufungwa. Sahau Teresa siko jua. Maji najaa kwa manyumba, hata watu iko na watoto. Tunauliza, hii watu wanapewa contract, mimi si wajui ni gani na ni nani anasimamia?
Those that are unable to relocate to better places stay on guard day and night while drawing water with their basins, trying to keep the sewer at bay.
Hii sewer iko kwa barabara katikati, tunajaribu kuokoa juu watoto wote wanapita shule hapa, wakienda shule kwa pikipiki, magari, Sasa tunaona tunaweza pata maafa yoyote kwa hii siwa. Saa hii uko chini nasikia tu ni mauchafu tu iko huko chini, najaribu kuingia kutoa mawe, bado nang'ang'ana na shindo tu vile nitasaidika.
Those with businesses around this area have already lost their jobs as residents stare into a cholera and amoeba outbreak. Ruth Sarmoi, NTV.
As mentioned earlier, the new session of Parliament is expected to be heavily political. NTV's senior political affairs reporter Kennedy Morethi looks at what is at stake and how the politics of the day will influence the running of Parliament moving forward.
Kenya broadcast.
With the 2022 elections beckoning and this being the last full session of Parliament, before politicians stop appearing for sessions as regular as they do, there are expectations of laying the ground on what next and how policy coming from the August House is going to change the course of Parliament. The removal of Murang'a Senator Irungu Kang'ata from Senate Majority Whip position Tuesday and the expected purge of nominated MPs in the National Assembly, allied to Deputy President William Ruto, is the clearest of signals that President Uhuru Kenyatta wants full control of the legislature. In the Senate, 7 nominated senators who have been vocal about their dalliance with Deputy President William Ruto are also facing challenges as the Jubilee Party resolved to expel them. National Assembly Majority Leader Amos Kimunya now says the BBI agenda will dominate this session of Parliament. He says they now await a verdict on the Constitutional Amendment Bill 2020 that is now before the county assemblies.
Obviously, the big item, which is the BBI, which again is a hope for Kenya in terms of anchoring national unity and peace and all this reform that people want to spur economic activity into the future.
Further, Kimunya notes there are bills that are tied to the implementation of the BBI in totality that will be given priority in the House.
Then there are others that will have to be passed to operationalize the BBI. Again, within 12 months or within 2 years. I would like us to even process them further, faster than that.
But even as the handshake side readies to control the House and put forth its agenda, MPs allied to Deputy President William Ruto are also angling to drive their agenda, which they have noted will be largely centered on the common mwananchi. On Monday, a day before Parliament resumed its sittings, about 130 MPs from both houses of Parliament met at Ruto's official residence and, among other things, agreed to champion separate bills from those from the government.
So you're going to be seeing a lot of pro-hustler proposals and legislation coming before the House. We'll be looking at how we can create more employment for the people that are at the bottom pyramid. We'll be looking at how we can improve the skills of those people and ensure that they can earn a decent living going forward.
Yes, they say they'll bring some bills that are pro-people. These are exactly the same bills I'm bringing. You know, BBI is pro-people. BBI is pro-youth. BBI. So at the end of it all, people actually realize that the same bills they are bringing are the same I would bring through BBI anyway.
The numbers at the DP's residence, according to the Tangatanga Brigade, is a clear manifestation of the havoc they may cause in both houses of Parliament if things don't go their way. Already, on the Kang'ata issue in the Senate, those in the DP's corner are readying for a fight as they now insist on challenging the outcome.
We want the Speaker to make first the ruling of our removal last year before making the ruling of Senator Kang'ata. Exactly. And in the Kang'ata, we want the evidence be tabled, including the numbers that signed against his removal and the signatures.
It is also understood that the Tangatanga Brigade has also formed a shadow parliamentary leadership group that will be doing their own research and countering what the government side will be presenting before the House. Kennedy Morethi, NTV.
To housing concerns or how that business has been affected in the country, a report by global property consultants Knight Frank indicates that the absorption of office space in Kenya decreased by 47% in 2020. The dip, largely occasioned by COVID-19, led property owners for both rental and residential properties to become more flexible at the price point. The rent for prime residential property declined by 10.3% last year compared to a decline of 2.8% 2% in 2019. Unfavorable economic conditions and the oversupply of commercial space in some locations led to a decline in office uptake and rental values. Property owners have had to adapt to new realities on the ground as the impact of COVID-19 on the society persists. Several suppliers that had delivered their goods to the National Youth Service say that they have yet to be paid for their services. The group adds that their businesses have collapsed because of the large debts they owe to creditors, and auctioneers have been on their neck. They're now asking the president to intervene to help arrive to or at a resolution on the matter. They have also called for an expedited payment program with strict, reasonable deadlines.
This is our prayer to you, Mr. President. An adequate budget of 15 billion to pay all the verified pending bills that were passed by the Multi-Agency Verification Committee, since the wait has been too long and very painful for us. 2, an expedited payment program with strict, reasonable, and definite timelines so as to alleviate our economic distress, more so at this COVID-19 pandemic period, due to the hard prevailing economic conditions.
Residents in Kariokor at Starehe constituency want the Nairobi Metropolitan Service NMS to fully engage the community in the housing upgrading program. This is after the Ministry of Housing and Infrastructure earmarked houses in Kariokor, which will be upgraded in phases. According to the residents, the NMS earlier on upgraded the market in the area but allocated the stalls to non-locals and sidelined the residents. The local leaders have also accused those involved in the upgrading program of using them to convince residents to cooperate, thereby turning on their own community.
Wamefikia stage sasa wanataka kutujengea majumba, lakini haya majumba wanatujengea hatujawaamini kwamba sisi tutarudi humo ndani.
The government is really putting us at a risk because kazi yetu tunatumiwa kumobilize. We are here, we are used as a mouthpiece ya serikali kuconvince watu wakubali project ifanyike. Alafu project ikishafanyika, unakuja unawekwa kando, saa zile inafanyika allocation. Inabaki sisi maisha yetu iko at risk kwa sababu watu tulikuwa tunasimamia, saa hii ikifika saa ya kupewa haki yao, hatukubalishwi kuwasimamia.
To a positive initiative now, the county government of West Pokot has begun an intense campaign to have children living with disability receive medical attention and corrective surgery where applicable. Speaking during a free medical camp for persons living with disability at the Kapenguria Referral Hospital, medics raised their concerns over the stigma associated with children born with disability. Now, living with disability is perceived a taboo in many parts of West Pokot, as well as the entire country, and the 3-day campaign expects to receive children from the far-flung areas of Sok, Endo, Tapach, Lelan and Chepaperia, with the county government also providing bursaries for the disabled children to encourage parents to bring the children out from the homes.
Kumekuwa na big progress nyingi ambayo imefanywa katika kaunti hii na katika hospitali hii. Ya maana sana ni ile kitu tunaita FIF. Kuna pesa ambayo zinaletwa katika hospitali ili tuweze kuboresha utendakazi wetu.
But kwa sisi ile wakati tumekuwa hapa tumeweza kuona zaidi ya 300 na katika hawa 300 zaidi ya 200 wamepokewa utibabu kupitia upasuaji kupitia hospitali ya Jua Kijabi.
Kuna watoto wanafichwa kati ya campaign, tukitembea program unakuta kuna mtoto amefichwa, ukisikia watu wanakuja area hiyo wanasema ficha huyo asionekane. Na ni kimila ya zamani. You want to show your best. So wakati tulikundua hii program iko na tukaongea na watu wetu na wakubali kutupea watoto, mmesikia vile daktari amesema. Now almost 200 plus watu wamepata kufanyiwa hiyo corrective surgeries, na saa ile team
We're 14 minutes past the hour. We take our break on NTV at 1. We'll be back with more, including sports.
New Tuzo Yogurt Cup. Size yako, bei yako.
Is a certified installer. Scratch to verify and authenticate your cables. We manufacture an extensive range.
It's a passion for me. I love beauty. Nililearn skill ya makeup na watch tutorials kama YouTube na Instagram. Alafu nikaanza practice na mabeshte wangu, and with time I would take pictures of them and the page would grow. Now people started DMing me and asking me how much do I charge. So that's how I started my business. That's where I get most of my clients, like 70%. Mi hutumia 1 GB giga bundles ya mobile data statement imenichanua kujua vile kila app inatumia bundles zangu. So now I'm able to channel my bundles on the apps I need the most.
Dial *544# and select 8 for bundle management to get your data statement. And you'll get free 200 MBs for first-time access.
The Ministry of Health would like to remind all Kenyans that coronavirus is still among us and that we must continue to adhere to all preventative measures to contain the spread of this deadly disease, including proper wearing of face masks.
Avoid wearing your mask under your nose, under your chin, because this doesn't protect you. The droplets can still land in the environment and things can still land on your nose and mouth.
Komesha Corona. Okoa maisha.
Parenting is all about learning when to be tough and when to be gentle. Tough, gentle. But when it comes to fever, you need to be both. Panadol Baby and Infant starts to work on fever in 15 minutes and is gentle on the tummy. Tough call. Panadol Baby and Infant. Tough on fever, gentle on your child.
The day the world stopped was the day we found where to go. From now on, we are not going to leave anything on our plates, because we've learned to savor the moments that were always there, and they never tasted this good.
Welcome back. In quite the unorthodox public cry for help, recently Mandera Governor Ali Roba published a long letter over what he claimed are undeterred movement of terror cells within the county, saying the government was failing miserably at stopping them. The government replied firmly, calling that statement unfortunate, coming from a government official who it claims was causing unnecessary panic.
Some 1,000 kilometers and a world apart from the bustling capital Nairobi, the county of Mandera is increasingly coming under the control of Al-Shabaab, the area's governor warned recently. Local newspaper reports have shown attacks on police posts, mobile phone transmission stations on the regular, and masts felled, leaving residents cut off from communication.
The reality of the challenge is glaring, so we've agreed, and the interior has really responded very swiftly to the outcry.
According to the governor, highways in Mandera are partly under the control of the Al-Shabaab that harasses travelers and targets civil servants on the roads.
Sasa sola tumeletwa kwa station, bado mpaka sasa hivi tunangojea information kutoka serikali from 2 hours. Na mkina mama, watoto, wazazi, makina nyanya wako kwa gari ndio hii wanakaa.
Situated on the Somali border, the often drought-stricken Mandera is a region where most of the population live off pastoralism and is already one of the least developed counties in Kenya. In the vast arid northern corner of Kenya, bordering Somalia and Ethiopia, frustration is boiling over due to the growing strength of the Al-Shabaab group in the region. The governor has also claimed that 126 schools have yet to reopen in his county due to insecurity after several attacks on non-local teachers in the largely Muslim area in recent years.
So problems of security is still there. We have challenges. Al-Shabaab was the problem that has made our teachers, colleagues from other regions to flee this county.
In a statement replying to the governor, Northeastern Regional Commissioner Nicodemus Musyoki Ndalana said it was regrettable that Roba had chosen to address a delicate and complex national security concern so publicly and defended the government's security investments.
If you talk about 60% of the county being invested with Al-Shabaab, I think that is not factual. We have had isolated cases of attacks. And you know the way these bandits operate. They are unpredictable. They behave like gorillas.
Kenya shares a long eastern border with Somalia and has been reportedly targeted by Al-Shabaab since it sent its troops to fight the Islamist group in 2011. High-profile attacks on the Westgate Shopping Centre, a university, a hotel and business complex have left hundreds of locals and foreigners dead. International Crisis Group researcher for the Horn of Africa, Meron Elias, told reporters that Roba's letter was an overstatement since government security measures would make it difficult for the Al-Shabaab to control significant territory in this region. Leila Mohammed, NTV.
And now to efforts to reinforce security in the region that Leila is talking about. The U.S. government has deployed a first naval ship to Eastern Africa in over a decade to boost maritime security and safety to allow freedom of navigation in the region. The expeditionary sea-based USS Herschel Woody Williams arrived at the port of Mombasa on Monday evening. It's intended to facilitate engagement opportunities between Kenyan officials and military leadership and to improve security along the Eastern Horn of Africa. The ship is currently deployed to the eastern coast of Africa to demonstrate growth in strategic partnership and U.S. commitment to African countries through interoperability, training, maritime security and safety to allow for freedom of navigation in the region.
Kenya is a priority to the United States and will remain an integral part of a successful U.S.-African policy and continue to build on the strong defense partnership to create a prosperous economic and security environment. And we intend to do that through visits like this to bring more ships back to the port of Mombasa.
Experts from the World Health Organization on Tuesday eliminated a controversial theory that COVID-19 came from a lab in the Chinese city of Wuhan. This comes as a team of experts continue to search for answers on the origin of the virus, starting off with Wuhan, China.
The WHO mission to China to uncover the origins of the coronavirus has failed to identify the animal source, scientists said on Tuesday.
And you heard the detail from Professor Wanyan, and the conclusion was that we did not find evidence of large outbreaks that could be related to cases of COVID-19 prior to December 19 in Wuhan. Or
experts believe the disease, which has gone on to kill more than 2.3 million people worldwide, originated in bats and could have been transmitted to humans via another mammal. Studies showed the virus can be carried long distance on cold chain products, appearing to nudge towards the possible importation of the virus, a theory that has abounded in China in recent months. While transmission from animals was the likely route, so far the reservoir hosts remain to be identified. There is no indication of the transmission of COVID in the population in the period before December 2019. There is not enough evidence either to determine whether there was a spread of SARS-CoV-2 in Wuhan before December 2019. The experts spent 1 month in China, 2 weeks in quarantine, and the same again on fieldwork. But already over a year after the virus emerged, some of it was of questionable relevance to their stated aim of finding the virus source, including a visit to a propaganda exhibition celebrating China's recovery from the pandemic. The group spent just an hour at the seafood market where many of the first reported clusters of infections emerged over a year ago. They also appeared to spend several days inside their hotel, receiving visits from various Chinese officials without going out into the city.
The Senegalese armed forces has captured 3 rebel bases in the southern Casamance region with support from neighboring Guinea-Bissau after fighting flared up in a long-dormant independence conflict. According to local army chief Colonel Souleymane Kandé, the bases belonged to the Casamance Movement of Democratic Forces, which has for decades been waging an armed fight for independence. The rebels at the bases were captured in an operation that began with artillery fire and ended with ground forces with aerial support. He further said that the operation was launched to secure the region after abuses committed by the rebels against civilians. Just before we get into sports, Donald Trump is staring at the threat of being barred from holding any public office as the Senate embarks on a second impeachment trial for the former president. Trump's lawyers have, however, claimed that the trial is unconstitutional and that he was exercising his First Amendment rights when he encouraged supporters to storm the Capitol, a siege that resulted in at least 5 deaths. The Senate voted to proceed with the impeachment trial despite Trump having left office. Let's hit the tracks to the sporting world now, and with the debate raging on whether the Tokyo Olympics should be cancelled in light of the COVID-19 pandemic, Athletics Kenya President Jackson Tuwei is hopeful of the Summer Games taking place. Speaking in Kuresoi as a guest during the handover of a bus to a local school, the AK president also urged Kenyans to shun doping.
At all on the athlete when they have prepared. And it's not only Olympics, any major championship. Like, for example, you saw now this RAC championship in this half marathon in Dubai, which has just been postponed. You know, our athletes were actually just about to leave. And when you hear their comments, they cannot believe it because they have prepared, they are ready. And you see, again, this is where the athletes depend in terms of getting something, in terms of earning some money. Now, the whole of 2020 went without athletes earning anything because some of them actually depend on that.
Kariobangi Sharks look to bounce back from defeat in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League when they take on Mathare United. Kariobangi lost 1-0 to Bandari in the last round and are currently placed 5th with 18 points from 11 matches played. Mathare United have only played 8 games in the top flight season so far and are currently teetering on the red zone with 8 points. In the day's other match, Sofapaka host bottom-placed Zoo Kericho. Manchester United ground out a 1-0 win over West Ham United at Old Trafford to progress to the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. Scott McTominay scored at the end of an otherwise flat match to send the Red Devils through. The Scots' decisive goal that came off Marcus Rashford's assist on his 250th appearance for United means Manchester United have reached the last 8 for a 7th consecutive year as they bid to lift the trophy for the first time since 2016. In the other result, Bournemouth also advanced to the last 8 after a 2-0 win over Burnley. 2019 winners Manchester City take on Swansea tonight in the 5th round as Leicester host Brighton, Everton face Tottenham and Sheffield play Bristol. Still on the pitch, beg your pardon, Real Madrid moved up to second in La Liga as they closed the gap to leaders Atletico Madrid with a comfortable 2-0 win over Getafe. The reigning champions began the contest without 9 first-team players because of injury or suspension, but were dominant throughout. Karim Benzema headed in the opener before defender Ferland Mendy doubled the lead from a move he started. Real now trail Atletico by 5 points, but have played 2 games more.
He rolls it back to Nacho. Cross comes in, headed, and Madrid take the lead, and it's Benzema. It doesn't matter what order you put on the club. Absolutely. Marcelo in space. Cross into the near post and turned past Soria. It's Mark.
From the net, I'll take some rest, and there's more to expect from our sports desk as well as our newsroom for 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock news updates. Thank you for watching. Have a good afternoon. Be safe.
This is NTV.
Presenting the new Harpic Bathroom Cleaner. Compared to ordinary detergents, its thick formulation gives you superior cleaning and kills 99.9% of germs and viruses all around the bathroom. Blue for the toilet and red for the bathroom.
They speak about Ebola. You may see people that are saying that it is a business from outside these countries.
We'll tell you how misinformation is keeping Ebola patients away from clinics and driving the numbers of infection.
How did Nigeria go polio-free for 3 years? We went digging for the facts.
And former Ghanaian President Jerry Rawlings recounts his experience as a victim of fake news.
And we also tell you how social media posts saved a sick giraffe in a Kenyan game park.
Welcome to Insignia Service Center, a state-of-the-art service center that offers diagnostics, repairs, wheel balancing and alignment, and a fully fledged high-quality paint booth. Insignia Group, consistent excellence.
Jumatano hii kwenye kigoda chako
nitakuwa mtu wa mkono wa uhuru kuanzia sasa.
Wengi wanamfahamu kama Steven Kalonzo Musyoka. Yeye anajitambulisha kama mwana halisi wa Sekuru katika muktadha wa siasa za Ukambani. Je,
But I believe that is actually de facto the situation.
We cannot follow a decision that is an errand boy.
upi mtazamo wake kuhusu mjadala wa BBI?
This is a document that carries this nation. This is not politics.
Ana mipango ipi kuelekea uchaguzi mkuu wa mwaka 2022?
The time for President Kalonzo Musyoka has come.
Na je, mvutano wake na naibu rais William Ruto unatokana na nini?
William Ruto has deputized President Uhuru Kenyatta 5 years, na katika kipindi cha lala salama anamruka na kuleta wheelbarrow.
Jiunge nami Jumatano hii kuanzia saa 12 kamili jioni, tumweke kigodani hapa NTV.
This week on Lit 360.
$ means money and AP and power. So in total is the money and power.
Perfect. No more the cons. I'm an icon living rolling